What is up, everybody? It's your boy Masu here, and today I am bringing you my Life Momo deck profile that I used to get second place at the Pasadena Regional License Exam. First of all, before I start the deck profile, I'd like to make a shout out to Jasper Games and everyone else in the My Hero Academia card game community. It was wonderful seeing all of you and getting to play games with all of you. It was also wonderful seeing all of the cool Set 3 stuff that Jasco had brought with them for spoilers. And was a very well ran event, and also big shout outs to the judge staff and Core TCG for hosting. Anyways, I'd like to explain kind of some of my choices in the deck building process and, why I made them. Because obviously my list is quite a bit different from what you saw from the first place list, which is Kevin Roberg's shoutouts. So as you can see in my list, I'm not running Zero Gravity Lift, and the reason why is because I was under the assumption that almost every deck that was going to be at top tables was going to be playing Face Shield or Wall Cling or some form of Throw Hate, and I would rather not have an attack that just says enhance flip Wall Cling or respond with Face Shield and your attack didn't do anything. So that's why all of my attacks for the most part are pretty okay against Face Shield. So like Back Alley is a base 4 speed with stun. Cannon is very fast. Bow Staff is not something they really want to block with Face Shield, considering it doesn't actually contribute to your home run Comet count. Comet just kind of gets blocked by anything unless they're completely tapped out, so that's another thing. Shining Flash is a base 4 speed, and it says our next one gets -1 difficulty anyways. Stomp is like one of their only really good Face Shield targets in this list, aside from Capturing Net. Stomp and Capturing Net are the two things they probably Face Shield. But even then, Stomp is a base 4 speed with stun that readies Quick Creation, which is really strong for various interactions, because it lets us use our Quick Create, commit to put Starlit or something into our card pool, and then destroy to build down, and then ready the one that we just used, so we can get more damage later on in the turn. Also has very good synergy with Study Group Leader, because it just makes the pickup enhance on Stomp free. Copy Harden is a little bit more of an interesting one, in my opinion. So this is the reason why this card is in my deck is it's based on an interesting interaction that Harden Jab actually has with cards like New Training Method, where you play it on a 4, you check a 5, respond flip your New Training Method, and then you pick it back up with a Copy Harden to get a whole lot of value off of your New Training Method. Because it basically, it drew you a card and it lets you build so you can draw another card with it next turn, another Foundation. It lets us reuse our Excited for Bloods, anything that Kirishima flips, with like Apathetic or something. It lets us pick up our Precious Lessons and reuse them over and over again. Our Wall Clings, if they flip our Rescue Completed, all this kind of like value stuff in the deck. And it's honestly, it's also a 2 high block with Breaker 1, which is very strong, coinciding with the Quick Creation Breaker 1, so we can just kind of break them out of the game with it sometimes. Assets. So I played 2 Trachy Cape. This is, I know, a little bit of an interesting choice, but the reason why this is in the deck is actually not really for the first enhance to unflip. Not saying it's not good, because obviously that's very good, but the Deadlock form is actually the main reason why it's in this deck. This says that if a Kirishima or the like ever builds to Deadlock against you, you don't have to just rely on Quick Creationing them to death. You can just play 2 Tongue Whips, and then Trachy Cape to pick up your 2 Tongue Whips, then play 2 more Tongue Whips, and then if you have the second one in your discard pile, you can actually create Bow Staff it into your card pool, and then use Momo to give it +2 speed, and build down the Trachy Cape. So basically, it's something your opponent might not expect. They might be like, oh yeah, he's got a Tray Sheet Cape, he only gets to pick up twice, so he's only going to get to play 4 attacks off of the Tray Sheet Cape. And then you go range attack, Tray Sheet Cape form, pick him back up, play the same 2 ranged attacks, and then you play create Bow Staff, tutor another Tray Sheet Cape, and you just keep going. And, you know, that's a lot of attacks. Playing Cannon Blast on someone 6 times, kind of strong. Tongue Whip, obviously. Shining Flash is pretty good to play multiple times because it just gives your next one -1 difficulty every time you do it, so just makes your strings a lot more free. Foundation choices, I'm not going to go into these too much because they're relatively basic. 3 Excited for Blood, 4 New Training Method, 3 Study Group. This might come to a 4 of at some point, but I don't know. I like this card at a 3 of. Passing the Torch, easiest 3 of. 4 Precious Lesson, 3 Preparing for Battle, 3 Rising Starlet. So the reason why I'm not running 4 Starlet is because you have multiple ways to find it off of not only Momo and Create Bow Staff, but you can also pick it up whenever you check it with New Training Method. So, yeah. I don't think this card needs to be a 4 of, and it's better to have like 3 Study Group and 3 Rising Starlet than 4 Starlet and 3 Study Group. 4 Rescue Completed, the best foundation in the deck. You have to play it at a 4 of, probably. Otherwise, you might be doing a little trolling, because the difference between Momo having Rescue Completed and the Momo not having Rescue Completed, it's like you're playing 2 completely different decks. Honestly. So I would not play this card at less than a 4 of. 3 Wall Cling. I don't like Face Shield mainboard because against the more aggressive decks, you aren't allowed to build your Face Shields. So, and it just leads to, like, these very bricked hands where you don't get to build anything relevant, and it just feels like you're behind the entire game because of it. So I tried to kind of shy away from that by not main decking the Face Shields. Because I had a lot of situations at Gen Con where I was main decking Face Shield, and I would just draw, like, multiple Face Shield on my opening build, and it would just be, like, awful. Compared to drawing Wall Cling, and at least I can build it. 3 Tight-Lipped, 2 Release. These are back alley Haymaker targets. 2 Encouraging Training Partner, 3 Floating, another back alley target. 2 High Value Target, 2 Observant Student for Deadlock, and 2 Someone with Style for Stun Hate and the Re-Ready. The other reasons why we play Release and Someone with Style are so we can do combos with Quick Creation and our weapon cards. So we can use Release to destroy his cost, and then Quick Creation to put the weapon card that we just blew up into our card pool, and then build it down with Momo for basically -4 speed, or in the case of Someone with Style, it's Ready a Foundation and -2 speed. And then Encouraging Training Partner is for the Recipro Burst decks. Or just anything that gets too fast for us to block, even with all of our speed redux. It's also good in the mirror because it lets us set one of our attacks to 4 speed after they give it a bunch of minus speed. Onto the sideboard. 2 Knife Slice for the Deadlock Enhance. In Momo, if your opponent decides to go to Deadlock against you, you can just start looping Knife Slice on them and draining them for 3 every turn, and they can die to Knife Slice, so that is something to be aware of when playing with or against Momo. 4 Face Shield. This is for, like, the Double Jab Pummel decks. Asui, if I were to run into that. Basically anything that needs combos, so, like, All Might 3. And then 2 Ultra Compressed Weights. This was for Asui. I expected her to make a lot more of an appearance than she did at the event, but she basically didn't show up at all. But this card is also just okay because of the fact that we're playing so many stun attacks that just, like, being able to say, hey, I touched you, I'm going to choose whatever good foundation you have committed, and I'm going to keep it committed for basically every time I touch you, right? If that card's annoying to me, I'm just going to keep it tapped down. So that's why you may have seen me bring this in the finals against Broberg. And it was pretty alright. Although I will say there was some very unfortunate RNG involved with that game. But no Johns, no Johns. It was fair and square. He played very well. And then 2 first villain encounter. Yet again for Deadlock. It's also just fine because it's another way for us to pump speed and damage, and it says our Tongue Whip, our Shining Flash, and our Cannon Blasts get -1 difficulty, which is not the worst. But, yeah. So, little bit of a tournament report. I ended up going X01 at the end of Swiss. So I ended up drawing with Bromley into top cuts. I ended 5th seed. And then I had to play against him in top cuts, because that's how the cookie crumbled. He did not draw all of his alleyways, or at least he didn't draw more than 2 alleyways ambushes ever. He was playing a really cool alleyway ambush Toga deck. Big shoutouts. Shoutouts to everyone on the Unfun Stuff team, obviously. And then in top 4, I played against the Eggman, I believe was his channel name. Big shoutouts to him. And he was playing Mineta 2 Under Death, which is historically a very Momo favored matchup. And then obviously in top 2, I played against Broberg. And we had some really unfortunate RNG. In game 1, I pressured him on turn 2 very well, because that's basically what you have to do in the Momo mirror, is whoever applies the most pressure the safest is the one that ends up winning. And unfortunately, we checked all 3s, and then the next turn, when we went to go kill him again, because I had a lethal line with a Home Run Comet and an Electromagnetic Stomp, we checked all 3s again, when I just needed to check a 5 in order to kill him. But, you know, that's the game we play. I still love it. Still congrats to everyone who topped. Shoutouts to Matt Childers and Andrew Holder for commentation. They did an absolutely wonderful job. You know, Go Beyond Gaming. And I believe UA Academy. So shoutouts to those guys. And thanks everyone for watching. I really appreciate it. I will see you guys in the near future. This has been Matsu, signing out. Hey yo, it's your boy Matsu. Call me Go Beyond because I've always got you. Call me Tam because I card well. Call me Jacob, but there ain't no John, son. Call me Mister because, you know, I alliterate. Me and the boys, you know, we keep it on fun. So like, comment, share, subscribe because this rhyme is done.